Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel for yet another week of a college football recap. Today we have week 11, lot to unfold, plenty of great matchups, plenty of great games, plenty of lots of crazy things that happen. So we're going to try to cover a lot of the main things today. I explained this last week. Not going to go over every game, I'm not going to go over every play. I'm just going to give you some of the biggest storylines of what happened throughout the week. So, to one of our main categories, we have the major upsets. There were a lot to choose from this week. There were about 5 that I was debating between, but I tried to pick 3 of them. I did pick 3, and if I remember, I'll try to give some honorable mentions at the end, because I do want to mention this, because I was debating with putting them in the list, but... First one, we have Arizona. Arizona went on the road to the Rose Bowl to play UCLA. They would then snap their 6-game road losing streak against ranked opponents to stun the number 12 UCLA Bears. I was not watching that game. That was one of those late night games, but I was kind of following that score. I was watching the Blackhawks game. But Arizona was just able to kind of keep that game close, and that's what happens. All right, to our next one, we have Boston College. Boston College was able to pick up a go-ahead touchdown with 14 seconds to play in the game. And that would lead to a road upset against number 16, NC State. So NC State, they've been playing well. I believe they're now 7-3, so they most likely will get kicked out of the rankings. But they were number 16 in the country. Boston College was like 3-6, or... maybe like 2-6 or something, 2-7, but they weren't good, and so that's really what made me pick this one as well, is the records kind of combining there. So big win for Boston College. Washington went on the road to Oregon, so all 3 of these games were road teams that pulled off the upset. They used late game heroics with a clutch game winning score, and then they followed by a defensive stop as Oregon's kicker, they had the ball at like the 40-yard line, but it was out of the kicker's range. So they had to just run a play, but the throw was incomplete. And that led to Washington, who was number 25th in the country's upset over 6th in the country, Oregon. All right, so those were some of the major upsets. Here are my honorable mentions. UConn beat Liberty, who was number 19 in the AP. They were not ranked in the college football playoff. But Liberty, or UCLA, beat Liberty to clinch bowl eligibility for the first time since 2015. And then my other honorable mention is Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt was able to go on the road to Kentucky, who was ranked number 24th in the country. That ends their 26-game SEC losing streak for Vanderbilt. They win on the road against the Wildcats, and that was the first time in a long time, or since 2019, since they have won an SEC game. All right, so another one of my favorite categories. Here we go to Oh So Close. These are teams that were right there for these upsets, but couldn't quite pull it off. And the first one, this was an interesting matchup. It was Navy and Notre Dame. Notre Dame, rough start to the season. They picked it up since. And Notre Dame looked like it was going to be a blowout off the get-go. Navy got down early. They were able to fight back. And they had a pretty decent comeback there in the second half. It fell just short, however, in a narrow 35-32 loss in South Bend on the road against the Irish. Another one here, Arkansas. They were able to shut down LSU's offense, who's been playing well, and only holding them to 13 points. But the Arkansas offense struggles as well in a close 13-10 loss. So another close game there for Arkansas, who's been right there in a few of these games this season, but have not been able to pull them out. All right, now to the game that was on game day, number 20. What number is Texas? I forget. Texas gives number 7 TCU a run for their money. However, they cannot get the necessary stop at the end as TCU is able to run out the clock nicely there when they got the ball with about 4 minutes or so remaining. Able to run out the clock, get the key first downs, and that led to a heartbreaking 17-10 loss to the Horned Frogs for the Longhorns. So plenty of those so close moments. I also had a few of those that I was trying to pick between. A lot of really close games. Really, one of the best games of the week was that Ole Miss Alabama game. That was fun to watch. Georgia was able to roll over. Tennessee was able to roll over their opponents. So a lot of the top teams are able to juggle on in there. Clemson, that game was close for a little bit. Clemson was able to win it ultimately. But yeah, a lot of these top teams were in battles. Some of them weren't, but Michigan able to roll. Penn State rolled. So a lot of the Big Ten teams able to get those wins. Ohio State over Indiana. So a lot of the key teams got wins when they needed to. A few of them struggled, however. That was really one of the ones that I mentioned. Now we're going to move to our final topic. And another one of my favorite. All these are my favorites. I really enjoy doing this show. But what in the world moment? This is a wacky moment throughout the week. It's like, how did this happen? That's crazy. Blows your mind? I don't know. But anyway, this was at one of those 11 a.m. games, got right off the start. Virginia's quarterback, Brennan Armstrong. He only needed 16 seconds to not only throw 2 interceptions, but throw 2 pick sixes. And 16 seconds into the game, Pitt was over Virginia 14-0 on the heels of 2 pick sixes. And then Pitt would keep on rolling, as they would end up winning that game 37-7. I hope you enjoyed this Week 11 recap show. Please stay tuned for next week, Week 12. It was a great week of college football. Hopefully a great day of NFL today. And thank you so much for watching. Plenty of great games, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Goodbye, everybody.